Hello, Namaste, Sat good evening. Welcome to the S.S. Chandhok talk show. I'm your host and moderator, S.S. Chandhok. Today, we have very eminent guests from the different parts of the country. They are actually the pillars of the education field, and they have brought up the standard of the education in India and abroad also in many countries. Without taking any time, I'll introduce you to the very first eminent guest present over here. First of all, we have a very smart and dynamic, a youngster who had taken education, because usually I've seen that the youngsters don't want to go into education. But this personality has gone into the education and has brought about a drastic change in the field of education. That is none other than Abhishek Rathore, sir. He is the COO of Stanford Board of Schools. Welcome, Abhishek, sir. We are very pleased to have you on our show. Thank you so much for coming. Please let us know about yourself, about Stanford.
Thank
That
you, sir. Thank you so
how
much.
did you started this? Your father started this, and how you have brought out the changes and everything about Stanford.
Thank you so much, Chandok sir. It was such an honor for me to sitting with the leaders of our education industry, and definitely I would to start with Sanford. Both my parents and my father and my mother started. So I should say rather my mother started this back in 1999. She was the one who started with the preschool. It was a standalone school. We started in She started in Noida, and from there onwards, the journey began. My father, Dr. S.K. Rathore, he was having a different business altogether. He was in hardware business. So from there onwards, my mother was the initiator. She was the first educator, you can say, in the in our family. After a good 1 decade of working and taking all the experiences, sari galtiyan karne ke baad, 10 after 10 good 10 years, she started with Sanford. And my father also came in the picture. That he was like ki chalo theek hai, that is the vision that my both my parents have for Sanford. Ki yes, now we have got the experience, good experience. Now the market also such that जो डिमांड है स्ट्रक्चर्ड प्री स्कूल्स की, वो आ गई है मार्केट में. पहले इट वाज नॉट, इट यूज्ड टू बी सम neighborhood concept we used to have in preschool. Even for me, if I talk about, मैं भी जो है एक proper preschool में नहीं गया. मेरे घर के neighbor में ही there was this Surbi preschool, जहां पर सिर्फ 5 बच्चे आते थे और मैं सिर्फ वहां पर बैठता था. जब मैं रोता था, whenever I used to cry, she used to give me some biscuits or anything, and I used to be happy after that. Right. So this was not structured, but we are grateful that such good educators and such like Bachpan and Hello Kids, that they have also started such a great thing. So from there the journey begins. In 2008 Sanford was started. And द वेरी डे जब हमने जो है सैनफोर्ड यहाँ पे वसुंधरा में चालू किया था, पहला पहला गाजियाबाद का प्री स्कूल था ये, जो कि एक ब्रांड बना था. सो जब हमने चालू किया था, उसी दिन ही हमने पहली फ्रेंचाइजी भी साइन करी थी. सो दिस वाज एंड बैक देन फ्रेंचाइजी वाज नॉट अ कॉन्सेप्ट फॉर अस, right? Not for a lot of people in 2008. Not a lot of franchising was happening. So from there we got the idea that yes, we can make Sanford as a brand. How we can make it? Through making other people understand how important the education, the preschool education is, as well as how important how profitable this business can be. In 1 year you can get all your 100% your investment back, and this is the right business to start with. And तब से जो है जर्नी चालू हुई है सर. Today we have more than 250 schools, preschools. We have 15 primary schools and 1 K-12 school. So we are blessed with good business partners. We are blessed with right fortune कि हमें जो है सारे जो है environment उस तरीके से मिला.
So please tell us about your education and how, when did you enter into this business?
So I started roughly, I believe, ये मेरे को भी सोचना पड़ रहा है. So roughly 5 years, roughly 5 years back, I started with. And from my you can say from my college itself, I did BBA from Amity University, and from there onwards I was already into business. So मैं जाता रहता था, And from 5 years back itself, my father said ki you're not going to sit in any on a seat. You are going to go 3:30 बजे सुबह सुबह जाओगे, न्यूज़पेपर में पैम्फलेट डाल के जाओगे, डालने जाओगे. एंड आई यूज्ड टू डू दैट फॉर 3 years straight. और मेरे को जो है सबसे पहले उन्होंने यही सिखाया, दैट वाज द मेन थिंग, दैट यू हैव टू स्टार्ट विद योर कोर ग्राउंड वर्क. If you're not going to know that what is the ground level work that you have to do, because when Sanford had started, even my mother, even my father, they went to houses and shared their pamphlets. They did word of mouth publicity and everything. So that is the core, that is the core of anything that you could start with. क्योंकि सीट तो किसी को भी मिल जाती है, लेकिन if I'm talking about second generation, so सीट तो second generation को मिल जाती है, but जो knowledge है उसको done a wonderful job, and I believe that I am doing certain things to contribute in this education industry. So this was amazing.
That's amazing, Abhishek sir, because you get your values from your parents, and your father started everything, as he already came into the show earlier also. He told us that how he started from the scratch and made up such a big empire. And of course, both of you, I mean, you and Sneha ji, they are bringing up the legacy, and you are moving it forward into the the 21st century. That is also very important. The family support, what he is getting, then he's able to bring up this level. Thank you so much, Abhishek ji. Thank you so much again for coming. Let's have more discussion in the later part of the session. Next eminent guest present here, who does not need any introduction, but still I introduce him, TJ Gupta sir. He is the co-founder and COO of Bachpan Play Schools, Academic Heights Public School, as well as he is a director of Rishi University. Bachpan School, Bachpan se sunte aa rahe hain, and so many Bachpan schools, 5 to 7 Bachpan schools we have in Kanpur even. So, if you talk about Bachpan Play School, it is a name which you don't have to talk about it throughout India. So I know it very well. So that's a wonderful, concept. The play group, I think the play group concept franchisee was brought on by Bachpan, I think, in India. So that's great thing. TJ sir, welcome, and thank you so much for giving us, sparing time for us and coming up to the show, because we get inspired from people like all of you, because you people have worked so much into the industry, that people like us, they get inspired, and thousands and lakhs of people, they get inspired by you. Thank you so much, TJ sir, and please let us know about yourself and the journey you had during this time.
It's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. In fact, I have seen 2 or 3 episodes of your show, not the whole episode, but yes, a 5-7 minute episode, and I was waiting when you are going to call me here. So I think invite was late, and topic is really difficult for me. Once we come to the topic, was because I was not a very good math student actually. So it's interesting to how we go ahead with that. So like what Abhishek ji has said, our journey started in the same way. When we entered into the preschool industry, there was no structured curriculum. I mean, in fact, it was an accidental business. My brother went to admit my niece in a play school, and we are not able to find any play school within even 8-9 kilometers of our house. So that was a day. We went, it's like 2003 and 4. Or abhi 2000, some 2000 aa gaye, still like there's a lack of preschool at that point of time. Even वो बोलते जो हम बोलते हैं कि household schools was also not there. I remember my time, like Abhishek was telling, वो जिसको हम बोलते थे आंगनवाड़ी kind of thing was there. And I remember एक रिक्शा आती थी. They used to carry my bottle, and they always give me slate to eat. Whenever I used to cry, they give me a slate to eat. So शायद मैंने 100-200 slate तो पक्का खाई होंगी. I remember this. So look, preschool has never been important in India, but now I think parents have realized this. We as a school have realized this, and I think COVID was a blessing in disguise, because post-COVID we have feel that change has come into the parents' mind. That now what is the importance of preschool? वो नहीं होता तो पता होता है कि नहीं था, और होता है तो उसकी वैल्यू नहीं होती. So I think that case has been little on the onward side. Talking about me personally, like I started I have done my schooling from Delhi, then completed my honors in political science, thinking that I would like to join something legal or something like that. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. वो लगा के that's an entire different industry altogether. So went towards education and went on to do many programs in computers. Basically, my interest was more in computers rather than doing anything. So GNET was a big craze for everyone. So I went to that, but later on changed my mind and then came into this side. So I think as a brand we are doing good, but yes, as a combined industry we need to do more and more, because still, as a number of students, you can see we are a big country, and if you compare the number of students versus the number of schools, I think they are very less. So I think the more and more school is the only thing. अच्छे हो बुरे हो छोटे हो बड़े हो, I take it at any way, but at least बच्चा स्कूल तो जाए. So that was our aim, which we are moving forward.
Absolutely right, sir. Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. I mean, that came into your mind that that there are no preschools everywhere. 8 to 9 kilometers, there are no preschools. And of course, sir, we are not talking about only Delhi or NCR. We are talking about the whole country. It is an agriculture country. Schools are not available at many places till now. And you people have brought this concept. All of you have brought this concept into the country, which has made it a standard wise. That is why the concepts have also changed of teaching. Pehle ABCD se sikhate the, aap standing line, sleeping line. These all concepts have been brought in by the brands like you all people have brought. And thanks to all of you. Thank you so much, TJ sir, once again. Thank you so much. Welcome, Mr. Pritam Kumar Agarwal, sir. Sir is the founder and director of Hello Kids chain of schools and Riverstone schools. Sir has a lot of schools, 650 plus schools in India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. Thank you, Pritam sir, for coming, first of all. And it's wonderful having you. Since long we had been conversing with each other. But you see, we have to collect all the stalwarts of the, the education industry together. And this was the, the day specified for coming together and discussing about a very horrible topic that is called maths phobia, which had been with most of us, which has to be removed now. Because like TJ sir, you were saying that concept nahi tha schools ka, preschool se concept nahi tha. Now also at many places directly they are going to the schools for grade 1 admission directly. They are not sending the students to the preschools. They are not knowing the importance of the preschool. That has to be created. Pritam sir, welcome so much. Thank you and so much for coming. Sir, please let us know about yourself and how did it came into your mind to start up Hello Kids and do so many things you are doing, sir. Sir, सारा कुछ तो एजुकेशन का आपने संभाल लिया है. फर्नीचर भी आपने बना लिया है, बिल्डिंग भी आपने बना ली है, स्कूल भी आपने बना लिए. सर, हम लोग क्या करेंगे, आप ये बताइए. So please, sir, wonderful. मतलब A to Z solution we have with you, sir. Welcome, sir.
So thank you to you, Sabarpreet, for bringing us here. And good evening, everyone. Tijay, Abhishek, and Nirmalji. It's good to be here and good to listen to Abhishek and Tijay. And even my story is very similar into this part. 2005, I wanted to do something in terms of K-12 school, but without any experiences, taking money from parents and jump to a business where we do not know anything with a huge investment and keeping the stake of the children for the futures. I really do not wanted to do that, because I think after that basic of education of marketing and finance, I understood that this is not the right way to do this. So I started my first preschool at Bangalore, where I have all sort of experience of starting up a school, designing the school, finding things, running the school, cleaning the school, driving the school buses, right, hiring the teachers, be there in the teachers, cleaning all the food and toilets of the schools. I have all these experiences. From that one school to, yes, currently we run around 760 preschools and 7 Riverstone schools. And it was not that easy journey initially, because when the industry was not, even now only after June 2020, the new education policy, we say that we have got a parent who is the Ministry of Education. And thanks to all the brands, all the private brands, Kidji, EuroKids, Bachpan, Sanford, Hello Kids, that they have made the country, they have understood the early education importance, and they have been able to drive to even to the government, who has decided after so many years that the preschool is now part of a formal education, right? It has been recognized only after this a new education policy, and that all credits I do not hesitate to take, and I proudly I can say that because of all of us, when we have understood the importance of this education. Friends, traveled from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, north to south and east to west. Friends, we have been able to do these 750 centers where we have centered in small villages where even there is no good school as of now, but we do run Hello Kid centers. We charge, we do even run Hello Kid centers in Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, and Mumbai, where we charge almost around 80,000-90,000 fees into a preschool. But it is very proud to say that even we have preschool with the same curriculum, same objective and mission and vision, where we charge almost around 15,000 per annum from the students. So it is a huge difference of, I'll say, because of different horizons, different areas, but we are maintaining about the same quality of education from that 50,000 fees to a 90,000 fees, because this is the foundation level of education. And when we understood about this model of bringing preschools to small villages and towns, we have been accepted by the parents with a lot of hearts and hugs that this young mind, these young children, those who are really very young to understand the preschool education, but keeping the plain picture, keeping the education in picture, we have been able to do that. Now, as you said that we have been able to do other things in the industry, Sabarpreet, what I'll be able to suggest you that there were time when I used to run the school van in the morning hours, evening, afternoon, after 3 o'clock, these vans were free. Me and my brother used to go outside BEML and used to fill the van with all the toys, and we used to sell all the toys on the given day. One full load of toys we used to sell every day outside BEML. I was driving, my brother and me used to sell toys. This is how we started toys. We have been importer, we have been distributors. Now we are the manufacturer of all the school furnitures and toys. My younger brother takes care of it. I have another younger brother who is into wooden toys. And we have a cousin who is into children's shoes right now. And we have different verticals, and we are launching our own shoes in next 2 to 3 months of time. So we have understood this industry of children education, parents, and we have been able to contribute whatever the best possible for these young children.
That's amazing, sir. That's amazing. Sir, please let us know about the Riverstone School also. Where do you have these 7 branches, sir?
All right. So, Savarpreet, as I said that from day one, I was thinking about entering to K-12, and without any experiences, I never wanted to start K-12. But I have loved this early education so much. It has been so much of interested in this early childhood education that I never really wanted to go back to K-12. But yes, my partners, my franchise owners has forced me to start the K-12 segment. And we are very new to this segment with 3 years, and we are running 7 centers. Out of 7 schools, we are only 2 regular regular schools with the proper infrastructures. Remaining 5 schools are running from the preschools itself. Those who are bigger premises, they have started their primary sections into that part. So overall 7 schools with almost 640 children right now, currently in 3 years. Out of 3 years, we were 2 years in pandemic. So good to hoping to see Riverstone with the big numbers in coming years.
That's amazing, sir. Wonderful, and all the best to you. That Hello Kids to do is wonderful. Riverstone also come up from 7 to 70 and 700 in within 2-3 years for sure. Coming up to the next person, the expert of the maths, who doesn't have fear of maths except all of us, is Mr. Nirmal Shah. Because after pandemic or during pandemic, we have come to know that the only positivity was that technology came into being, and a lot of tunings had been invented. Although these people are working before the pandemic, but people were not relying on the artificial intelligence or technology based things, because they thought it is useless. But gradually after 2 years, it has become the need of the hour. So when I met Mr. Nirmal Shah in one of the episodes where we were as co-speakers, he told me about the beautiful app he has created. And that is also, to be very frank, free of cost for the schools and all. That is helping the teachers. वो कहते हैं ना, स्कूल के अंदर अगर आप मैथ्स का टीचर अलग से पहचान जाएंगे, उसका जिसका मुंह उतरा हुआ होगा वो अलग से दिखेगा मैथ्स का टीचर, उसको इतना बर्डन होता है that he has to take up so many chapters and so many classes. So these people, they have removed the misconcept that maths is a very difficult subject, which was during our time, before that also, and before that also, and now also the same phobia is there. Let me tell you, sir, gentlemen, that now also when I'm calling some educationists or principals, though they are saying we'll love to come to your show, but maths, oh my God, we cannot come for that because still we have phobia for that. When educationists, they have phobia, or the principals or the directors who are looking after the schools, they have phobia for that. What about the kids? Okay, I do tell them that we are not going to solve the questions over there. We have to talk about what are the reasons and what are the remedies for that. So when I met Sir, who formally, let me tell me about him. He's the co-founder of Counting Well, a maths learning app for middle schoolers. The goal is to make maths learning easy, anxiety-free, and participative for children across the country. Their focus is to help the so-called average students become more confident with maths and develop great problem-solving skills. They step in where school teachers are not able to provide personalized attention due to lack of time and bandwidth. So they have started up many courses with that, and he has experience of more than 2 decades. Nibal sir, thank you so much for coming and welcome. Sir, please let us know that how did it came into your mind, instead of coming up to any other subject, you came into mathematics and you started up a that app for that, AI based app for that, helping the teachers as well as the students, and that too from the middle school. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for inviting me, sir. This is a very, very interesting episode. I have come to some of your previous episodes as well. And, usually it has been principals, and it's obviously been the higher classes. So one is that, sitting here with stalwarts of the early childhood education is a very, very different experience. And I'm really hoping to learn a lot from that side of the teaching learning side of the business. As far as we are concerned, why we started Counting Well, the whole idea started a few years, about 5-6 years back, in fact, when my son was getting into the middle school. And that is why, that whole middle school focus also came. This has been my personal experience as well, that when I moved to middle school, I went through a lot of struggle, especially with mathematics, because there were a whole lot of topics which suddenly got added, and my parents could not give the kind of support which I would expect, and so on. The same thing I noticed in my son. And given that it was very recent, it also gave us the opportunity to do something about it. So what we observed is that, as he got into the 6th grade, his enthusiasm, especially for mathematics, started to wane. And we tried to understand why this is happening. And what we realized is that, one, of course, is that number of chapters are more, and the homework is all complicated, too many concepts and all that kind of stuff. But also we started seeing that now they're starting to see word problems in their maths questions. Till 5th standard, it is all fun and play, mostly playing with toys or, doing finger counting and all those kind of things. But जैसे ही वो 6th में आया, तो उनको बड़े बड़े word problems मिलने लग गए, multiple concepts mix हो रहे हैं. So what we found is that, one is that he's not able to understand the problem. And when he's not able to understand the problem, how will he solve the problem? And we tried to see what is being taught in the classroom. And what we realize is that the teacher does not focus so much on the language skills. Teacher does not say that maths mein language important hai, but actually it is. The whole idea of solving maths problem starts with understanding the maths problem. And that means that you have to be able to understand the statement, which means that you need to have some language skills. Now, we all know that in India, especially if you look at a child of 8th grade, their language skills would be something of equivalent of a 6th grade child, right? Especially English language skills. So how do we then make sure that the child is able to get past that barrier? So we did one assessment to try and identify, what are these actual problems that the children are facing? Is it just that there are too many concepts? Is it just that the teaching is not good, or is there any other problem beyond it? And what we realized is how they solve the problem. First, they have to understand the problem, which means language skill is very important. Second, we call this modeling skill, which is basically to structure the solution of a problem or to strategize how the problem has to be solved. जब वो concepts multiple होते हैं, so if you say that here is a triangle, one angle is x, second angle is 2x, so there is some algebra involved, there is some idea of triangles involved, there is, that geometry knowledge involved. All of that has to be included and put together. So how do they decide कि यहाँ मुझे algebra use करना है, यहाँ मुझे geometry use करना है? And what happens is कि textbook में जब वो problem solve करते हैं, तो it is, part of the triangle chapter, so they know that they have to use some triangle concept. If it is a part of algebra chapter, they know they have to use algebra concept. But the moment they get in the examination, it does not tell them which chapter this is from. So that is where they start faltering, because they don't know which concept this has to be related to. जब उनको वो पता नहीं है, तो वो formula जो उन्होंने rote memorize किया है, वो कोई काम नहीं आता, right? They have not understood the subject, they have not understood the concept, and all that rote memorization is now starting to fail because they don't know how to relate this question to the concept. So one, language, second, this modeling were very, very important. And then, we said, I come from a IT background. My co-founder also comes from a technology background. So the obvious solution for us was to create some kind of a software around it, right? So then we created an assessment and we did some pilots in a few schools, about 1,500 students between class 6 to 8. They took these tests. And then we went back with these results to the principals. We said that, dekhiye, comprehension is the biggest problem. Here it is, the numbers are in front of you. Modeling is a major problem. The numbers are in front of you. And then they came back and said, "ठीक है, problem तो आपने बता दिया. Now what is the solution? You guys cannot simply come and tell us this is the problem. Everybody tells us this is the problem. Education system टूटा हुआ है. Where is the solution to it, right?" So that is when we realized that one, maths is a very, very important subject. Not just because we as parents, we always think that our kids should be very good at maths, right? This is the typical Indian mentality, including mine. But second thing is that math is a subject which will help develop your logical thinking skills, analytical thinking skills. So all of these can be done only when the child is confident about it. So what we need to do is, one, that we have to create all this kind of learning and make it very, very personalized for the child. But second, we also have to help the child develop confidence in himself that I can understand maths, I can solve maths problems, and I like maths. So that was the mission with which we started Counting Well.
Wonderful, sir. Amazing. We'll also like to know more about the app, but at the later part of the session. Coming up to the next part, I won't call it as a question round, but a suggestion round. We'll come up to Mr. Abhishek first. Abhishek, sir, we know that you always had a fear of mathematics during your school time, but still, you have been into the schools. You also have a K-12 school. Although everyone has now started up with the K-12 schools, and gradually they have, they have वो कहते हैं लोहा बना लिए हैं preschools में. They are coming towards the K-12 schools. So Abhishek sir, will like to know from you that that mathematics becomes a a feared subject in the middle school instead of fun. We have seen students, they are enjoying mathematics till class 5, but gradually from class 6 onwards during the middle school, they start having fear of that. What are the reasons behind it?
So I'll say it from my eyes, because I've experienced it myself. Because during the middle school, what happens, the things get introduced, like algebra gets introduced, and geometry and applied maths gets introduced. So the complexities increases. So as the complex concepts get increases, there's always a fear that we won't be able to do maths, and there's always this idea behind everybody कि मैं maths नहीं कर पाऊंगा या मुझसे ये solve नहीं होगा. And the class is such that we have 35 to 40 kids, and we have maximum 1 hour where a teacher cannot teach each and every person, and they cannot give the individual attention to the students. So that is the major gap that we see, that we have to change the conventional teaching methods that we are already doing. And that is the major point that I would like to add on. The conventional teaching method has to be changed. And there what I've seen in my school also, my maths teacher do that. Back in my school as well. I'm from Songwell, Noida. So वहाँ पे Aparna ma'am, she is currently a principal in Ramagya. Aparna ma'am used to bring me, teach me 2 o'clock in the afternoon. She used to get me, and she used to like कि तुम ये करो. So there was this there was this sort of individual attention that I used to get, but not everybody used to get that. I had that sort of a relationship with her, that bond with her, so I used to get that. So that sort of a relationship or a bond has to be created, and that sort of individual attention has to be given to each and every child. How can you do that? Of course, after school classes are there, I believe that all the schools are now doing that. Especially this post pandemic has made us realize that homeschooling was something that has made this thing worse, because we used to get sort of a thing, but now the students have written their exams through Google, and the even the parents have helped them to with the exams and all. So उस time पे तो 2 साल में तो अच्छे marks आ गए, अब लेकिन पता लग रहा है कि things are getting even worse, right? So all these things, I mean, redundancy of conventional methods of learning has to be changed. There we have introduced hybrid learning now. So utilize that technology. We should utilize that technology. We have introduced a learning management system in which all the kids can go back to the courses, and they can have a specific course redo again, and according to that, different solutions and problems would be there. So they can repeat that thing. They can understand that thing again and again. If that particular concept is unclear to them. So the usage of technology is something which I feel that has given us a better hope, and especially thanks to this COVID, that all these things have developed. I mean, for that matter, counting well. We were also discussing about counting well over the phone with Chandhok sir. So they have also introduced with something AI, and they are also introducing that individual attention should be given to each and every child. So that sort of a thing is going to promote more confidence into students like us, like myself, to be honest, because I was very scared. I was very much scared of maths, and I मेरी personal tuitions होती थी. My parents had spent so much on maths, and I'm sorry to say, I was unable to score that well as compared to other subjects.
Other subjects.
But had it been I would have gotten that sort of a LMS or counting well sort of a application during that time. I might have scored well, right? So the fear has to be taken away from the child. That is the the basis of it, I believe.
Absolutely right, Abhishek ji, you're absolutely right, because but one more thing is there. If a child loves a teacher, or the children love a teacher, they do very good in their subject. And when the maths teacher is is coming up not with a smiling face, with a other type of face where he's or she's saying that, okay, now children, you have to do this. That additional way still going on is they are going up into the class, solving up 3-4 questions and saying, okay, your exercise is over, the chapter is over. So that traditional methods they are going. This is also one of the reasons why students, they don't love mathematics, although that is the best subject you can have. Thank you so much, Abhishek ji. We'll come up to teacher sir. Teacher sir, in your opinion, why do middle school students lose interest in mathematics?
I think what counting well is doing is great. Reason being, the middle students, when the child comes to middle schooling, middle classes, the maths become difficult. At pre-primary level, till class 2nd, 3rd, maths is very easy. At certain level, because I've experienced this in COVID, my daughter has promoted from 5th to 6th class and 6th to 7th class. So we can see that change. Till 5th, till 4th, it's okay. But once you cross that grade, it's bound to happen. And I think, frankly speaking, in our K-12 schools, we don't have that kind of maybe that kind of innovation or that kind of thing in the school which can make maths easy and fun learning. I don't know how it can happen, whether we can make math easy or whether we can make it a fun kind of subject, but say computers. So it's fun. Every child can score. So I think nowadays students, most of the students, like out of 48, 36, 37 students are not scoring good in maths. The reason being, I think that school infrastructure or maybe the way of teaching maths it's that same all across together. It hasn't been changed in the last 15-20 years. For me, if I see a maths book of my daughter right now, she's in 8th class, literally I got afraid. वो 200 पेज का book and all those multiplications, sums, तो वो आमिर खान वाली मूवी थी ना, that goes round and round. So those numbers goes round and round. I think that is the base of the conversation. I think so. We need to make maths more interesting. Maybe more practical based learning can be available in maths. I think that practicality can sort out the issue.
Yeah, absolutely right, TJ sir. We had felt that. Now with our kids, we are facing that. My daughter is elder, but my son is in grade 9, 7th, 8 was all the exams were done by Google Baba. So now when he's come to grade 9th, that level is not there. But when I have seen these changes, like I've been talking to few schools who are already using apps like Counting Well, there's a drastic change in the teaching method of the teachers also, as well as among the students also. The most important thing is what you will feel in your child also. They do not ask questions in the class. They feel that we'll be embarrassed if the students will say, "Oh, tumko nahi aata, why are you asking? So stupid you are." So that likewise, when the one child is not asking question in the class, others will also not put up. When we were there, so we were not thinking about anything. Sir, now we are not able to understand. Please tell it again. But now the students are there very cautious. They're very different. They're very different. कोई friends भी आते हैं, कहीं जाना भी होता है, तो you don't come to the gate. I'm not a small kid now. You please stay inside. I'll go. So these things has happened a lot. We feel with our kids also. Pritam sir, your kids also are small, and they might also will start doing this gradually. So this happens because because of having nuclear families now, or whatever you say, that so much of advancement is over there. The children, they don't resist a single thing also. But when they come up with the apps, these type of apps will help them. There's one-to-one teaching only. There's no one to see them at their comfort time. Many times when we are doing something very important, so we need concentration. कभी सारा दिन नहीं बन पाता है, वो काम नहीं कर पाते हैं, दिमाग नहीं लग रहा उसमें. Same thing is with the kid also. When they have their concentration, they have their time, any time at their comfort, they can pick up their mobile or the gadget and they can come up with that, and they can learn from there. It is a very good thing that, like Nirmal sir, I'll steal your words, that the teacher may get frustrated. That एक बारी बता दिया, दो बारी बता रहे, कितनी बारी बताएं कि चीज को हम बताएं. But machine never gets frustrated. It will say, okay, you asked me 100 times, 1,000 times, I'll keep on telling. So this is also very important. Thank you so much, TJ sir. We'll come up to Pritam sir. Pritam sir, as an educationist, you're also running K-12 schools. Please suggest few ways in which a teacher can make maths more interesting.
All right. So thanks for this topic, Savarpreet. The importance of this thing is very close to my heart when we are really working from young learners, right? I'll come back to K-12, but let me give you some thought processes. As Mr. Nirmal was also speaking on the same line, and I really resonate his thoughts into this. See, first of all, we as educators, we as parents, let's stop discussing that these are hard, this is easy, this is tricky, this is subject, this is just another subject. That is the first understanding it. Because since the childhood, we are all taking as maths as a very complicated, tricky, hard and easy, which is not required. Let's remove these lines from our normal talks and discussions first. You want to be MBBS doctor, you have to be very strong into maths and science. You want to go and be a pilot, you need to be very good in physics. We have to stop all these lines first from the childhood. This is killing our sense of understanding the basic concepts. Somebody says, I don't want to be a pilot, I don't want to learn physics. It's not like this. So the first thing, as parents, as educators, we have to remove these barriers first. There's nothing to start early. There's nothing called hard work. There's nothing called more practices. For this, you need a tuition. No, it's practical. It's a basic of what you call as numbers. So let's not treat it as a basic, easy, hard and soft. That is the first thing. Second is when the child, right? When the child is too young, when he is learning, let me give you a small basic example, not as a educator, even as a parent and early childhood educators. It is just, see, I'll just give you one of my experience, then I'll come back to this example. I was doing a training session in one of a school, and I was doing this maths as an example. And there was a principal sitting over there, and he got stopped me and he said, Pritam sir, ek kaam karte hai, if you allow me, I will try to get my primary section and senior section teachers also for this training now. I said, okay, no issues. We got stopped for 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, this teacher all joined me during the training session. It is amazed to see Tijay and Abhishek. I think you also should listen to this. Nirmal sir, you also should be able to give me a understanding to this. I asked them 1 plus 1 is what? Everybody said 2. I said 1 plus dash is equal to 2. Everybody said 1. I said dash plus dash is equal to 2. Everybody said 1 plus 1. I said, what is dash plus dash is equal to dash? Nobody answered. Even a teacher who is taking care of first grade, second grade and fifth grade, they could not say what is dash plus dash equal to dash. Nobody answered. They said, sir, kuch to bolo, kuch to likho, kahin pe to ek cheez option dalo. Or they had only one answer, sir, yahan kuch bhi ho sakta hai. Right? So is that we are preparing the child for? Can't we say 0 plus 2? Can't we say 2 plus 0? Can't we say 1 plus 1? Can't we say 1 plus 5 is 6? Can't we say 6 plus 6 is 12? So only thing is, we have to understand that this is a basics of learning which has to fun, which has to have fun. So what we have done is, we have started using red pens, we have started using notebooks. Let's go back to a Maria Montessori concept of education, right? I'll say 50% of your teachers, right, will not be able to understand the value of 0 itself. वो खाली इतना बोल सकते हैं कुछ नहीं होता है. But there is 0 is also a number, friends, right? 0 after the number and before the number makes a lot of difference, right? Even our primary teachers, pre-primary, middle teachers and higher secondary teachers cannot say you these lines. They have not been trained for the same. So value of 0, the best part to understand the value of 0 is go back to the Montessori concept of spindle box. The spindle box starts with 0. And that is the real classic example to use it. And 1 to 10, we have really taught 1 to 10 as just alphabet, that the numbers, the letters, how we have taught them ABCD, right? ABCD has got 26 letters, but we have taught our young children 1 to 10 as another 10 letters of numbers itself, right? We are not able to teach them that the numbers are increasing, right? We have taught them, yes, it is, the first number is 1 and you keep on adding 1, but we have not taught them keep on adding 1. We have just told them this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 rat lo yehi 10 number. But when our basics are not clear, how can we really talk about these additions? Next, you go back, and I'll say that Nirmal sir also will agree to this. Go back and ask 10 engineering students. Show them a 2 by 2 size of tile or 2 by 4 size of tile or 1 feet by 1 feet of tile and ask them what is the size of this tile. They won't be able to tell you this is 1 feet by 1 feet because their eyes has not studied maths. The brain has studied math, but the eyes has not studied maths. So we have to understand the visual implication of that maths also. I'll say you, I trust me, 70% of your engineering students will not be able to tell you the size of your windows. At least you don't give me the exact, it is 9 feet 1 inches. At least tell me it is around 8.5, 9 feet. We do not have that understanding even to the engineering students. Practicality. This talks about practical application of numbers. Till the time we are not making it fun. See, giving 100 rupees to a child, right? Teaching money, that is called financial literacy among the children, let's say we are talking about. Going back with the child to a supermarket and you say that you have only 100 rupees to spend. You can only buy 5 products from the supermarket within 100 rupees, right? That is called basic calculations. 1 nose and 2 hands and 3 wheels of the autos and 4 legs of the table. That is very, very important to understand this child. So and when we are making it specific that maths class mein maths hoega, science nahi hoega, and science class mein science hoega, maths nahi hoega, that is also wrong implications. When I'm teaching transport, I even give a lot of importance in numbers, right? A 2-wheeler has got 2 wheels, a 3-wheeler has got 3 wheels, a bus has got 4 wheels, or a Maruti van has got 4 wheels. Friend, and that looks like a circle. So when we only concentrate transport, you teach aeroplane and train, it doesn't make any sense. Even somebody teaching history, 1947, India got independent, and now how many years after independence? We are in 2022. Even that is a maths of calculation. Your age is 34 and your father age is 54. What is the minus? If you do minus, how elder your father is to you? Friends, it is how quickly. Can you just flip up 5 pages? Can you please go back to page number 68? These are all basic learning which has to happen early in the years. A water bottle is almost, let's say, it is a 9-inch water bottle or a 12-inch water bottle. Even that is required for that 5, 6, 7 grade of children. Right? And yes, when we make it fun, when we make it more within the environment, I say, let's not, even worksheets really helps, right? Even you can use of a lot of technology which is in place right now. A lot of practices is happening. Encourage them. Again, as I told you with an example, visual is very, very important. I don't want to say it is 1/4 of a circle. I want to really show them. I can make 4 pieces. I just want to take it 1 piece and show them this is 1/4 of this 1/4 of this circle, right? Or 1/4 of this square. You can easily tear a page and do that. You can easily break a pencil to say this is half, right? If you are using only a paper and pen to teach them half, sorry, you are at the wrong place. Right?
Absolutely right, sir.
Till the time we do not do all this, maths will always be a complicated to people. And even as Marwaris, as we are Marwaris and numbers, I cannot go on a, what do you call as, I cannot say that I have to run away from maths.
That's amazing, sir. Wonderful, wonderful thoughts you have given. Like it was like that you have already been a mathematician all the time. And I'll also take an example that if a greengrocer is coming up to your lane and the lady is going out and telling him he's illiterate and telling him that different, give this 1 kg, this half kg to this 250 grams, 100 grams. Within a fraction of seconds, being illiterate, he'll tell you that how much money you have to pay. But when you're giving that in word problem to a child, he'll start using the formula. Because he has been told by sir or ma'am that a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. But why this formula has been taken care of? The practical approach. Sir, we had been knowing that the pre-primary is, has to have playway method. But as of now, pre-primary till grade 12, it should be playway method. Otherwise, the same thing will happen. The engineer students, as you said, they will not be able to tell that what is a lump sum, the size of the tile or anything. You will ask them, because that practical knowledge, as you were saying very correctly, is not given to them. A page can be tiered, a cardboard can be taken, sizes to 4 pages can be made. Anything, if we don't have technology, even so many things can be taught to the students. And thanks to the technology, that the whole world comes into, on one device only. Anything in audio, visual, any way, practical way, you can show them and you can make them understand that this is the major concept. This has to be done, but why this has to be done? When this is not clear among the students, then they have that problem. They do the rectification of the formulas, but they do not know. You are sitting over at this place and someone has to come, 4 people have to come from different sides of the city. Will that route be the same? No. So that is why when you are doing one chapter, you cannot apply one formula at all the places. Why? Because you are coming from that side, you have to apply this formula. You're coming from that side, you have to apply this formula. So that way, what happens is student ko lagta hai ki teacher ne bataya this formula is there. He keeps on applying the same formula. But that flexibility he has to tell. Yesterday, I was telling to my son, okay, you have to do maths like this. If you're coming from this side, and next year coming from another side, will that same route will be there? He said, no, Papa. I said, this is with the mathematics also. This has to be understood by the math teacher, by the math teachers. They have to change their method of teaching. Technology is also there, which is helping them out. It is not there that the technology is removing the role of the teachers, because whatever it will be, maybe after 5, 6, 7 years, there'll be no books, but teachers will remain for sure. Thank you so much, Pritam sir. Lot of insightness you have told about mathematics, which has opened the eyes of, will be opening the eyes of many, many people. Abhishek sir, this should have happened at your time or some other time, तो क्या-क्या drastic चीजें हो जाती. And this is what you are bringing amongst your students also now in the primary and pre-primary and all the K-12 school also. So that we may make changes, whatever has happened with us during our education time when the traditional teaching was over there. Now this has to be changed. Somewhere this change has to be broken. Somebody was asking me, so many episodes you have done with mathematics. Why more episodes? I said this is the biggest problem. This is the biggest problem which has happened from ages and is still going on. We have to remove that. Thank you so much, Preetham sir. We'll come up to Nebal sir. Nebal sir, we have heard all the guests and your expert views on what they have said. Like Preetham sir said very rightly, पहले तो बच्चे को ये बोलना बंद कर दो कि mathematics is going to be a big thing for you. The teacher is also saying the same thing. The parents are also saying the same thing. Everywhere is it. Okay, now actually maybe the maths is a very big thing. It is, so that comes into his mind automatically that this is something which I'll not be able to do. Let it be natural. Sir, Nebal sir, please tell us about whatever the experts have said and how this fear is, how are you removing this fear among the students? How are you helping the teachers with this app that they are making there, as they have their excuse that in a 40 minutes class, 40 students, how can we pay, individual attention to the students?
That's very true, sir. So great comments, especially Preetham sir. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, right? Whatever you said. First, it has to start from that pre-primary or the early years. And I think it reflects what Abhishek ji also said. It's very important that the confidence of the child has to be built, right? If they are confident with the subject, then they will always feel comfortable with the subject. Now, forget the fact that they may not score 100 on 100. It doesn't matter, right? Now, what really matters is कि उनको क्या ये समझ में आ रहा है कि पेंसिल के दो टुकड़े हुए तो they are two halves, right? That's the simple thing. Is that something they are able to understand? If you tell them कि you are standing near the door, how high is the door? So it should be very easy to guess that if I am about 5.5 feet tall and the door is a little bit higher, then it's about 7 feet high. So these are the kind of things which the kids don't know because they don't feel confident with the subject. And this comes back to what Chandhok sir you said, कि जब teacher इस तरह से सिखाती है कि you have to follow what is written in the class. This is the formula to use this formula. So the kids don't even think beyond that because they feel that if I do something else, I might not get the marks, right? It's as simple as that. So obviously the one part of it is that the teachers have to change as well because the teachers have to accept कि किसी ने किसी और तरीके से इस प्रॉब्लम को अगर सॉल्व किया है तो वो भी ठीक है, right? So that is one side of it. The other side is how do we build the confidence in the child? So one of the things, for example, what we do is that when we say we do personalized learning, so we give an assessment to the child and we determine what is the learning level and the skill level of the child. So one part is, of course, that you identify whether they know a concept or they don't know a concept. The second side is also that you have to determine is the child able to understand the problem? Is the child able to model the solution and so on, right? Now, if we find that the child is not even able to understand the problem, then we have to stop giving him word problems. We have to come down to the level of the child rather than saying that here is the textbook, here are the 10 questions for all children. Everybody has to solve the same 10 questions. When the kids don't think alike, when the kids are not of the same level of intellect, same level of ability, same level of confidence, how can you expect them to solve the problem at the same level? You cannot set that benchmark. So what we do is that then we try to identify what that level of the child is. Let us start there. Now, if the child does not know something which they should have learned in the previous class, now this is another thing which teachers tend to ignore, right? If I am teaching 8th grade and if the child does not know the 7th grade concept, I'm not going to spend extra time with the child, except if it is somebody like Abhishek sir, his teacher might do that. But, generally teachers would not do that. They would not spend that extra time and say that I will teach you your 7th grade concept. Now you come back to it. So we, for example, and this is all technology, right? We are able to identify that you are not able to solve this 8th grade problem. Let's ask you a related 7th grade problem. Are you not able to solve that? We will go back to 6th grade. If you are not able to solve that, first, let us teach you that. And then we can take you up to the higher classes. सो इससे ये होता है कि वन इज दैट वी आर कमिंग डाउन टू द लेवल ऑफ द चाइल्ड. नाउ बच्चे को ये नहीं लगता है कि ये मेरे लिए बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, जो मेरे लिए इजी है वो मेरे सामने रखा गया है. सो आई स्टार्ट लर्निंग फ्रॉम देयर and then let the child grow up step by step. So that's the basic idea, that we have to build the confidence. How we build the confidence is by going down to the child's level and then bringing the child up, and not standing at a height and saying that अब तुम ऊपर आओ. वो बच्चा अपने आप से नहीं कर सकता है, तभी तो वो बच्चा है, right? So we have to help them grow there. So that is the very essence of that differentiated learning which we have built in. And the other side is, I think, how we help the teachers. Right now, that is also very, very important, because teachers are an integral part of this whole teaching learning mechanism. So how do we make sure that even the teachers get the right inputs? So for example, what we have done is that we have created this whole thing into a very simple solution. We say that for teachers, you just give the homework to the child. Now the child will go home and do the homework on the concepts which you have taught today. Now, for teachers, why we are saying you give the homework? We are saying that you don't have to create the homework. You don't have to correct the homework. The app will do it by itself. So the teachers feel that my administrative burden has come down. But on the other side, what we're doing is that as they answer these questions in the homework, we start to determine what is the learning level of the child. We start giving them that learning, and we start giving the report to the teacher कि आपका बच्चा इस क्लास में अगर 30 बच्चे हैं, तो if you want to group them, then we will group them into 3 or 4 categories. If you want to look at them individually, then you will know exactly which learning outcome the child is not able to achieve. Now you can go sit with the child and you can actually help the child. Even if the child is not asking doubts in the class, बच्चा क्लास में चुप बैठा हुआ है, फिर भी आपको पता चल गया कि ये बच्चा क्या नहीं जानता है. So that should be the idea, right? So now we involve the teacher very closely in that whole teaching and learning process. Now the other side of it is also what TJ sir brought up, it has to be practical based learning, right? Now, how do we make that also part of this whole process? Because one of the things which starts with middle school especially is that amount of topics, number of chapters are so vast that the teachers just cannot spend that extra time with the children. So if the teachers cannot spend that time, then who is going to spend the time? हम बोलते हैं कि हम बच्चों को ग्राउंड में ले जाएंगे, उनको बोलेंगे ये पोल का हाइट मेजर करो, but that is all one of things. And the second thing which happens is that is random. आज हमने एक एक्टिविटी करा दिया. Now after a month we will do some unrelated activity. After another month we do some other unrelated activity. Now how is that going to help that whole process? How are we going to track the learning progress of the child throughout the year? That is also important, right? So what we do, for example, is that now we have included a lot of higher order thinking questions in the form of competitions. So what we do here is, instead of simply saying that कि पढ़ाई है पढ़ाई है पढ़ाई, and that's what the kids hate, right? Now homework बोलने से बच्चा कर लेगा, but it is being forced upon the child क्योंकि टीचर ने homework दिया है. So why do we have to always force that on the child? So what we did was we started creating these competitions. So currently we have something called Maths Premier League going on, where a number of children, thousands of children are participating. अब बच्चों को लगता है competition है. Now what we are doing is that we are covering one chapter of their current syllabus. So right now it is their second chapter, because they are more or less in the second month of their studies. We know that they will be around that. Now what we do is that we say that you have to take a pre-assessment, then you have to go through a learning in order to qualify for the final challenge. Now what is that learning? That learning is your whole second chapter, and then they take part in the finals. Now kids think that हमको prize मिलेगा, trophy आएगा, medal आएगा, all those kind of things, but what is happening is that they are actually learning in that whole process. And we go back to the school with the report also. So we show them that ये आपके बच्चों ने सीखा है, ये इनके learning gaps हमको समझ में आए हैं. Now you can do additional things with that, but at the same time we have kept that enthusiasm live in the children. And the third part is how we promote that higher order thinking skills, right? So for example, we have introduced courses on data science, we have introduced courses on financial literacy for children, right? Things like very basic things. Compound interest बच्चे सीखते हैं. बच्चे ये नहीं जानते कि अगर कुछ एक साल में कंपाउंड होता है तो उससे बेहतर ये है कि वो 6 महीने में कंपाउंड हो, उससे बेहतर ये है कि वो हर क्वार्टर में कंपाउंड हो. They just know the formula, right? They say that 1 plus r by 100 power n or whatever, and कुछ compound interest हो गया. But why? And how is it different from simple interest? So those are the kind of things we have to teach them, which we teach in the form of courses, in the form of competitions, in the form of all these kind of events that we do. And then we integrate that as part of the school so that it becomes a lot of data for the teachers also.
That's quite interesting and amazing because you're making it, I think gamification, everything is there in the app so that the students get interest into that. You also told us earlier also, Nirmal sir, that you have in example forms like where this match is happening and this is raining. So you practical approach, as TJ sir and Pritam sir was also saying, that the practical approach should be there and the fear should not be there among the students. Let them grow. This is also there in the. So the best thing is that you one-to-one interaction is with the, when the app is there, the child is able to understand and learn from there. And the very next thing is very good is that the app is going up down to the level of the child from where they can bring them up. Because we already had been discussing that 2 years that they had not studied at all. And coming up to the senior classes, when the concepts of that particular topic is not clear in the previous two classes, how will be able to do at the higher level? So the app brings them down to the question level where you come up to the root. If the root is also not clear, you clear up the roots, that is the basic concepts, and then gradually bring up the students up to the same class. That's amazing. Thank you, Nirmal sir. Thank you, Nim. We'll come up to you back again. We'll have the next round and a precise answer will be needing. Abhishek sir, we'll come up to you. How we want to know from you that how this technology helps in making maths more interesting and easy.
So first of all, with the help of the new technology that is coming up, I believe that like counting well, what beautifully they've laid down their application, which is so much easier for the child to they are going to that level where the child is unable to understand, and if he's or she is unable to understand his particular class level mathematic problem or concept, they're going down to lower levels. So this type of customization is needed because each and every child has their own pace, right? So that would definitely make it more easier. Kids get more confident because customize whatever I am able to, and what pace I am able to go forward with the particular concept. I am able to get that right, and then only I've been taught accordingly. In a class of 40 odd students, there's always a peer pressure that okay, aage wale benches, the front benches are the ones who say yes and no, and they know how to around the problems and solutions, and the back benches like myself, we were like okay, yes, wo sahi bol rahe hai to hum bhi unke piche chalte hain. But in the reality, we were not knowing anything about that, right? We were just going in a herd of sheep. So the use of technology is definitely more customized experience. Children are going to get. They'll be more confident. They'll understand the concept, the basics. Like Pritam sir said that the basics needs to be understand. The possibility to solve a problem. It's everywhere. The maths is everywhere. So if you are going outside and from the early childhood, if you are teaching them कि bus में चार you have वो है wheels. We have 4 wheels or 6 wheels in a bus. We have 2 3 wheels in auto, and all these things everywhere is mathematics. So they'll have more fun. They'll have more fun. Another aspect of technology is the visuals. So visual representation of anything, again, Pritam sir has said that visual integration is very important, because the theoretical knowledge that all the teachers have, they part it to they make them study the children. But having said that, the visual representation is not there. But with the help of technology, this is also available. So I believe that use of technology helps them make it more easier. And of course, if there's not going to be any fun, there's not going to be any learning. Because if they're going to see it as another problem, the mind is going to get shut, and then again they'll be like, oh, ye to mere se nahi hoga. So it has to be in a more fun way. It has to be in a more fun way. Then only we'll be able to accept the concept that is going to come in front of us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abhishek sir. Maths is everywhere in life. You see, if even the housewife is cooking in the kitchen, there also maths is applied. At what proportion of the things have to be added, then only it will be delicious. So we cannot run away from maths. You have to love it. and how to make it lovely. The Santa Claus we have is Mr. Nirmal Shah, who has brought up the people like Nirmal Shah who have brought up these type of apps, which are making the things very easy and not economical. It is free of cost. It is not economical even. So many things came into the existence with a so high costing that it was not affordable to every parent or every child. Now the things have become much, much better. Thank you so much, Abhishek ji. We'll come up to TJ sir. TJ sir, it is often seen that children learn mathematics instead of understanding because they feel that all the subjects are same, including mathematics. So what are your views on this, sir?
Yes, yes, it's quite an easy way. If you don't know the formula, you can read it and you can write it. So I think my belief as a student was during mathematics, if you're not able to understand it, write the formula, at least you will get a passing marks. So I think that is the safest way one can opt for. But talking about a topic, we have moved to the gamification. I think Pritam sir, Abhishek ji, counting well, everything is put a green mark on that. Gamification is required. I think better and better tools and better gamification can be there to make maths more simplified, more interesting. As a middle class student, as a primary student, first thing is that as a school, we should remove the fear of mathematics. Just say the student that will give you 10 additional marks, or maybe if our government bring a policy of giving passing mark for 1 year, जैसे केजरीवाल जी ने बोला कि 1 साल के लिए राशन फ्री, बिजली फ्री, make a habit of a child, he should know that there is no fear of maths, मुझे passing तो मिल ही जाएगा. So at least that ensurety can be done. Maybe I'm talking about it on a larger scale, but I think that is the best way out if you make something easy. So something better can come out of that. Another way of increasing the maths awareness, we can have workshops, we can have Olympiads, we can have. I'm not saying these are not happening, but not on that level. आपने हिंदी का महासम्मेलन सुना होगा, श्लोक सुने होंगे, but you've never heard maths का महासम्मेलन. So I think there's a lack of knowledge from maths in the market. There's nothing like that which is happening from school side, from us, or maybe from the government side, maybe from the CBSE board, maybe from the NCRT, maybe even from the publication side also. So nobody's focusing on that, I think, but in the time to come, because I've seen this thing, Malaysia, Japan, many of the countries are doing this, they are doing the subject awareness. So if we are little aware about the subject, we can be little focus on that, we can be little acquainted on that, and let's see, the things can be wonderfully done.
Absolutely right, sir. And if you think about this, have you ever talked about the subjects in the seminars or the shows you have been called? This is that maybe after a very long time or whatever it is you're talking about a subject today.
No, never. This is my first experience, and that's why I'm a little afraid and it's interesting also.
Yes, sir. It is very interesting, and it's a very chronic problem which was happening and still happening and keep on going. Because you people are the pillars of the education industry. You need to carry forward these things to the schools and everywhere, because when this show will be floated, everybody will be seeing that also. You should understand this, what is the importance of the subjects. Basically, I as an educationist in the education field for last 26 years, I feel that English and mathematics should be given the most importance in the schools. Other subjects will develop themselves, for sure, English and mathematics. So this is the theme of the S.S.Chandhok talk show, that I keep on taking the topics which are directly related to the students and are very crucial things which should be understood and should be solved. And again, we have some people in the industry from the other side of the industry who are like, again, the Santa Claus or genies with us, who help us out into the things. I try to find out these type of people, and I invented Nirmal Shah sir also, that these people, they have created such a wonderful thing for the students. It's such a help to the students, and not only to the students, it's a help to the parents also, as well as teachers also. Thank you, teachers, sir. Thank you so much. I'll come up to Pritam sir. Pritam sir, we like to know your views, because after pandemic, the children have become more techno savvy. They do not want to pick up the books, or they want to use the gadgets. They are so smart. When they were not attending the classes, they were putting the cameras on, moving throughout the home. So they were saying to the parents, okay, we don't understand the classes of this particular teacher. We'll skate into the YouTube channel, some other topic with these topics, and we'll do that. So now we like to know your views on the saying that the post-pandemic children have become more smarter. The teacher have to become more smarter than them with the use of latest technology?
All right. So it is very, very true that when we are handling children at this for this generation, teacher has to be more ahead than the children, right? We cannot go back and say in our days it was not available. I do not know Insta and Facebook. I do not know the different apps available. It's not only using a Zoom or a Microsoft team to take classes. The teacher has to go beyond their academic part, beyond their subjects, to make the child understand with the help of the available technologies, right? Let me give you a small example. When we were training our young these teachers to make some puzzles online, because that was a time when we were not having toys to play in the on the Zoom sessions. So there are a lot of different app available, and even there's a website called AVCYA, right? There are a lot of activities for young children. So we were trying to tell our teachers that how easily you can even make puzzles by using technologies, right? So let's say playgroup is using a 4 piece of a puzzle to make an apple, a nursery is using 8 pieces of a puzzle to make an apple, or even a LKG is using around 14 or 16 pieces of a puzzle to make an apple. It is everybody is making the same puzzle, but different difficulty levels. When we play Sudoku, it is easy, medium, and hard, right? So how, with the best use of technologies, if you are able to make all these things, yes, you are at par with the leading. Otherwise, you give them a puzzle and child says it is available on my home and I play on this everyday basis, the child is, yes, ahead of your times. So when we are talking about, it's not only your subjects, what is that available which I can bring it to my classes, whichever I can give it to my young learners, right? It's not about 21st century skills of, let's say, communication or collaborations. No, when you are talking about technology, what is that best practices available, and giving on a higher grades, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when even Nirmal sir was given an example, lot many people have been able to draw, make, see, now we really do not need a lot of material, the what you call tools to make a design of a car or a building, right? Even it is very easier on this application which is available, that you can make a building or a car with the help of technologies. So it's not about you know it or not, but you as a teacher has to learn from it. What is available and how can I give it back to my children? Otherwise, finding by children nowadays, as you said, it is very easy to find them. So it's not that they're going back, they are searching and they're coming back and they say that, madam, I found out this and this is easy. And when you think that children are ahead of this time, they again don't value your way of education, right? So you have to be one step ahead, because you are called as a role model. As a teacher, you have to one step ahead. So if you are preparing a child for 21st century, you have to start thinking about the 22nd century generations, right? At least a decade ahead, at least a year ahead, at least one technology ahead is important for the teacher.
Absolutely right, sir. I remember 26 years back when I started up my journey as a teacher. The first day or second day, I went to the principal to thank him. So he said me one thing: don't thank me, thank these kids who keep you inside the school, and these are who's to show you the way out. So children are very smart. As of now, the children of this 21st century are more smarter than us. We had the fear of the teachers that will be caned, but now you can touch them. They are very smart. Even small students of second, third, or fourth grade, they can judge how the teacher is. So the teachers have to be more smarter. So gradually, we had seen that again afterwards, the other teachers also, they started up their YouTube channel and they started up, uploading their own videos. Thank you so much, sir. Pritam sir. Nirmal sir will come up to you, your expert views on what the speakers have said. And please let us know, because parents also have a complaint that if you give gadgets to the students, they will keep on using it. What is the limitation for that? And what are the extra things in precise tell us, which are very important and very good for the teachers and students?
So, very important point which Pritam sir made here is that teachers have to be ahead of the students, right? That means that they have to be able to pick up the technology, and they have to be able to also show the students or demonstrate to the students that they understand this well. And it's not just technology. I would say that overall, right, it's not purely saying that I know technology or I also know Instagram, tumko bhi Instagram pata hai. It's also about how effectively you are able to use that for in the classroom, right? Ultimately, the relationship is in the classroom. So how effectively are you able to use that technology where the child feels that yes, ये मेरे भी काम आ रहा है और मेरी टीचर को कुछ मेरे से ज्यादा पता है. So that's what it should be, and that's how it should be. I'm glad to see. I've been talking to a lot of teachers as well, especially the young teachers. They are catching up on these things very fast. They are able to adopt this into their classroom, adopt this into their day-to-day activities as well. Like you said, the teachers ने YouTube videos upload करने शुरू कर दिए हैं. So if the child says कि मैंने किसी और का देखा, the teacher says मेरा भी है, जाके देख लो. So that way, the children don't feel that my teacher is any less than what I'm seeing outside. So that's one aspect. The other aspect, what you said is very correct, that parents feel that the kids are using the gadgets too much. And obviously, it went overboard in the COVID 2 years, right? So at that time, they were always on the gadgets, and that has definitely affected the children. We can see that their ability or their willingness to communicate with other people in real life has kind of become less. I keep hearing stories about a lot of school teachers and principals telling me कि break में बच्चे चुप हो जाते हैं. Instead of saying that break में बच्चे जो आवाज करते थे and teacher used to tell them that you keep quiet, now it's the other way. The teacher is saying तुम आवाज करो भाई, चुप क्यों बैठे हो? So that is because of the fact that they have lost that connect. So we definitely want to be also very conscious of this. Their gadget time has to be reduced because it's a mobile app what we have developed for children. We also have to make sure that we don't make them use it too much. So one of the things what we have done is that we have broken down every chapter into a very large number of learning outcomes. So one chapter, for example, breaks down into 15 to 20 learning outcomes. And each of them then has a micro learning module. So what we call that as micro learning means that, typically in about 5 to 7 minutes, you can complete learning one outcome, or you can achieve one learning outcome. And basically then you can do 15, 20, and then you will complete the chapter. So now what happens for the child is that they will do 2 or 3 learning outcomes, or maybe maximum 4 learning outcomes in one day. That will take them about 20 minutes. In those 20 minutes, they would have achieved those 2, 3, 4 learning outcomes, and they will be able to move forward. So it does not feel like we are giving them too much information, too much knowledge. As it is, their attention span is very low. So we don't want to force too much time on them. At the same time, we want to give them enough learning. So when we break it down into such small modules, then what happens is कि आज मैंने 20 मिनट पढ़ाई करी, उसमें मैंने 3-4 learning outcome achieve कर लिए. Now stop. You don't have to learn anymore. Come back tomorrow. Then tomorrow we will do another 20 minutes. So that way the screen time is limited, screen time is reduced. At the same time, we are able to give them that incremental learning day by day.
That's amazing, because teacher when goes into the class sometime when he's rushing or she's rushing the syllabus, get a lot of things together and mixed up, and children are not able to understand that. But when every day are giving up 20 minutes to the mathematics, what I have tried to understand is they'll understand the 3-4 concepts that will be clear to them. Next day again they'll come up with the 4 concept that will be, the things will be very easy for them. And as we say to the students, but mathematics is very easy. The only thing is that you have to practice this every day. Wonderful thing you have created, Neville sir. Thank you so much for bringing such a wonderful thing for the students as well as the teachers. It is a very big concern for the schools as well as the parents, especially for the parents, that my child is not able to do in mathematics, other subjects the child is able to. And it is also there, when mathematics is not able to do properly, it gets affected on the other subjects also, many a times. So this wonderful thing you have created, Ilma sir, thank you so much. Coming up to the last part of the show, I'm very sorry for saying that. This concept of this show is that every participant who comes over here has to sing 2 lines. It may be filmy, it may be original, it may be devotional, anything it can, or patriotic, anything can be sung. So because Abhishek sir is the youngest one over here, and I've come to know he has a very beautiful voice, You sing. I have seen the videos of your videos where you know how to play guitar and you sing very well. I've seen that also. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. So let's have 2 lines, Abhishek sir. Everybody will sing in that sequence.
So you want me to sing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, this is the me time.
Been asked for that.
See, in our shows, the last 5 minutes, 7 minutes, we have the me time. So that me time is that you should have a wonderful time. आप तो enjoy कर लेते हो, हम तो नहीं पहुंच पाते. Now let's have a get together virtually and have a good time for last 5 7 minutes.
Okay. So that a very, very sudden request it was. So I am sort of a romantic guy, so I'll go with a romantic song.
We can understand, sir. You are unmarried right now, so we gradually 1 year,
Sir,
5 year, 10 years, 15 year,
romance
20
होता है,
year.
किसी से नहीं
हम तो
होता.
20 plus वाले हो गए हैं.
We are busy working. ऐसे कुछ दिमाग में नहीं आ रहा सर, काफी all of a sudden था ना, so that's why. Any song, there has to be any suggestions.
No sir, अरे you are yourself Google.
बताइए सर, आपका क्या फेवरेट सॉन्ग है, मैं वही गा दूंगा.
चलिए टीजे सर बताएंगे आपको कि आप कौन सा गाना गा सकते हैं. Sir, please suggest Abhishek sir what song he should sing. TJ sir, please suggest Abhishek sir what song he should sing. Sir, you're on mute, sir.
Sorry, my internet was stable. So Abhishek is a romantic guy. We can understand his feelings. So I think he can sing something for his girlfriend. Maybe that he might be watching this show.
सर
गर्लफ्रेंड से ज्यादा अच्छा मेरे को लगता है कि माओ के लिए गाना गाना चाहिए, क्योंकि वही हमारी पहली गर्लफ्रेंड होती है, वही हमेशा के लिए वाइफ होती है.
Oh my God.
So I'll sing a song for my mother.
मम्मी आ गई.
मैं कभी बतलाता नहीं, पर अंधेरे से डरता हूँ मैं माँ, यूं तो मैं दिखलाता नहीं, तेरी परवाह करता हूँ मैं माँ, तुझे सब है पता है न माँ, तुझे सब है पता मेरी माँ. Thank you.
Wonderful. You have a beautiful voice, and I mean, you can go to Indian Idol for sure. We have started. We have started connecting with the Indian Idol. Abhishek sir, we have started connecting with the Indian Idol people that they should start up a series or an episode with the educationist of India, and gradually, I'm giving you that you are going for the finals for sure. The next finals will be TJ sir when he'll sing.
Thank you, sir.
TJ sir, over to you, sir.
The best part of the show is that the best part of the show is that you have kept this trials at the last. If you have kept this trials at the start, nobody is going to watch the show once it's last time. So that's the best part. You are playing safe. So I'll sing a song for math.
They'll be ready to solve a mathematics problem.
So
Gyan is over, maths Gyan is over, this is me time. Maths Gyan is over, this is me
not
time.
Maths. So whenever there was a maths exam, we as a friend group used to sing one song before every exam. So the song was like, "Hum honge kamyab, hum honge kamyab, hum honge kamyab, ek din, oh man mein hai vishwas, pura hai vishwas, hum honge kamyab ek din." Thank you.
बिल्कुल होंगे सर, बिल्कुल होंगे. Thank you so much, sir. TJ sir. Preetan sir, your turn, sir. You are the showstopper.
At number 3, I have to get ready, so I'm ready to sing. No issues. But
sir, regional. You're singing regional or Hindi?
No. I'll be singing regional Hindi only. But this song really can bring a lot of confidence among the children. And I have made sure that both the kids learns, and even the kids from Hello Kids school should by heart this song, these two paragraphs. So this song is dedicated to all the Hello Kids students across the nation. आसमां की छत पे है अपनी दुनिया, खिलखिलाती जिसमें है अपनी खुशियां, चांद की चलने लिए तारे चुनते हैं हम, जादुई है ये जहां, नहीं है कोई गम, बंदे हैं हम उसके, हम पे किसका जोर, उम्मीदों के सूरज निकले चारों ओर, इरादे हैं फौलादी, हिम्मत हर कदम, अपने किस्मत लिखने आए, आज चले हैं हम. Thank you.
Sir, you are going to the quarterfinal, sir. Final to Abhishek sir will go for sure. And TJ sir also, you also going to the quarterfinal, sir. Now it's the turn of Nirmal Shah, sir. How can you escape?
I thought you
See,
let
we
me
have
go.
gathered because of you, because of your counting well, or you can say mathematics, whatever you want to say. You will also have to sing, sir. So dignities they have sung. How can you do that? You won't sing.
All right,
Please.
sir. 2 lines.
He has to.
उठे सबके कदम तर देखो रम पम पम, अजी ऐसे गीत गाया करो, कभी खुशी कभी गम, देखो रम पम पम, हंसो और हंसाया करो. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nirmal sir.
You also have
We
to
had a
sing.
wonderful time.
Your turn also.
My turn also, sir. नहीं आज तो पकड़ा ही है सर, आज तो
yeah.
गाना ही पड़ेगा, आज तो गाना ही पड़ेगा. चलते चलते मेरे ये गीत याद रखना, कभी अलविदा ना कहना, कभी अलविदा ना कहना, चलते चलते. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abhishek sir. Sorry?
Indian Idol. I found my competitor
Sir,
in Indian Idol.
Sir, we are category of the towards the senior citizen category. How can we compete you, sir? Thank you, Abhishek sir. Thank you, Preetham sir. Thank you, Nirmal sir, teacher sir. I hope you had a wonderful time. Hope to see you another season, another episode. I hope now you will get ready with the song for sure for the next episode when you will be coming, and we'll again have a good time at the end of the session with a beautiful discussion. And you people have created history, in the education industry, bringing up the preschools concept, bringing up the K-12 schools, that level of K-12 schools as well as the higher level studies also. Thank you so much once again. Hope to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, Preetham sir.
Bye,
Thank you, Nirmal sir.
Bye, TJ ji. Bye, Abhishek. Bye, Nirmal sir. Stay in touch. Yes.
Bye.